At my wedding, the air smelled like roses and frosting, sweet enough to choke on. The band had just switched to something slow when my mother leaned in, smiling for the cameras, and said, "We're passing the car his parents gave you over to your brother." Her tone was light, like she was asking for more champagne. Across from her, Mason grinned, his silver cufflinks flashing. "Relax, Aria," he said. "It's just a car." The guests didn't notice, but my stomach did. It dropped, cold and final. My groom didn't move. He just looked at them, calm, unreadable, and that look changed everything. They say weddings show who loves you most. Mine showed who never did. I grew up in a house where fairness was decoration. Something that looked good never lived true. My mother, Lorraine, loved perfection, the kind that photographed well and silenced rebellion. My father, Dennis, believed quiet fixed everything. And Mason, my golden brother, the fragile one the world bent to protect. When we were kids, Mason got the bigger room because he needed more space. When he totaled his first car, Mum blamed the brakes. I worked 2 jobs to buy mine, and she called it good character building. That's what I was, the character builder, the fixer, the hinge that made their world move. By 30, I had built a life outside their script, an architect, precise, deliberate, independent. Meeting Lucas felt like sunlight I didn't have to shield my eyes from. He came from a family that respected boundaries. Not money, but respect. They gave trust the way my family gave guilt. At our rehearsal dinner, his parents handed me a small silver key inside an envelope. "You built this together," his father said. "Here's something to help you move forward." A modest, reliable used car, titled in my name. It wasn't about the car. It was about what it meant. Trust, partnership, freedom. But I caught Mom's expression, polite, calculating. Her smile didn't reach her eyes, and her glance slid straight to Mason like a reflex. I should have seen the storm forming. The morning of the wedding, she adjusted my veil, whispering, "You've always been so giving. Aria, don't lose that." Her perfume filled the air, sweet, heavy, suffocating. I smiled, pretending not to understand. But deep down I did. Some people don't want your generosity. They want your boundaries broken. The reception sparkled like a movie. Laughter, champagne, and 1,000 polite lies. Lucas's hand rested at my back as we danced. Soft, safe, certain. Then I saw her, my mother, gliding through the crowd, her stage smile polished to perfection. She stopped beside us and said loudly enough for everyone nearby to hear, "We're passing the car his parents gave you over to Mason." The room blurred. Someone laughed. The band singer drew out a note that sounded like sirens. Mason appeared, glowing under the fairy lights. "Relax," he said with a shrug. "It's just a car." It wasn't about the car. It was about every time they took something from me and called it love. I looked at my mother, composed, benevolent, untouchable. "You and Lucas can manage with one," she added. "You've always been so practical." A camera flashed. Her hand rested on my arm. No one saw her grip tighten. Lucas's thumb brushed my wrist. A quiet question. "Are you okay?" I smiled. "Not yet." Dad drifted over, uneasy. "What's going on?" he asked. "Nothing serious," Mom answered. "Just helping Mason out. He's had bad luck with cars." Mason laughed softly. "She doesn't mind sharing." Sharing. The word landed like a bruise. I thought of every borrowed thing I never saw again. The late nights fixing his messes. The apologies I gave instead of receiving. I smiled. Small, calm, dangerous. You're right, I said. I don't mind sharing. Mom relaxed. Mistaking composure for surrender. Lucas didn't. 2 weeks before the wedding, I'd already prepared. With the help of a friend, a paralegal, I had a notarized declaration drawn up. Every gift in my name was legally protected. No transfer, no sale. Any attempt triggered legal review and forfeited future inheritance from Lucas's family. I signed it in blue ink. So did Lucas. I wasn't paranoid. I was prepared. Later that night, as guests began to leave, Lucas and I slipped into the quiet hallway. He asked softly, "Do you want me to say something to them?" "No," I said. "We already did." He frowned. Then it clicked. He smiled, slow and proud. "You knew." "I hoped I'd be wrong," I said. Then his phone buzzed. A text from a guest. "Your brother's already posting about the car." We looked. There it was. Mason posing next to it in our garage. Captioned, "Finally got my dream ride. Big thanks to sis." I laughed once. Sharp. "Let's go finish the party," I said, and let them open their own trap. When we walked back into the ballroom, everything glittered the same. But the air had shifted. Mom was laughing by the cake. Mason still had his phone out. "There they are," she called. "Everyone's asking for the bride. Just handling a few details," I said. "Good," she said. "Mason needs a ride home anyway." Lucas's voice was calm, surgical. "He has one now, doesn't he?" Mom blinked. "What?" "The car," I said. "You said you're giving it to him." Her smile flickered. "Aria, sweetheart, don't make this awkward. It's just..." Lucas handed her an envelope. "You might want to read this first." The rustle of paper cut through the music. She skimmed it, then froze. Mason leaned in, face paling. "What is this?" she demanded. "A legal declaration," I said softly. "Signed 2 weeks ago. Everything titled in my name stays in my name. Any violation voids future inheritance from Lucas's family." Gasps rippled through the room. "You can't be serious," Mason said. "I'm very serious," I replied. Dad exhaled. "Aria, this is petty." "No," I said. "Petty is pretending theft is tradition." Mom's voice cracked. "We're family. You don't treat us like criminals." "Then stop acting like them." Silence fell. Deep. Electric. Lucas stepped forward. Calm as ever. "Mrs. Hayes, that document's legally binding. You should keep it." Mom's composure shattered. "You encouraged this." "She didn't need encouragement," Lucas said. "Just respect," Mason muttered. "You think you're better than us now." "No," I said. "I just stopped being useful." That was it. The break. The room went still. Even the band stopped playing. Mom's whisper came last. Small. Desperate. "Aria, please, don't do this in front of everyone." "Then you shouldn't have done it to me in front of everyone." The silence that followed was freedom. Lucas pulled me back to the dance floor. The band picked up again. Slow, steady, defiant. As we moved, I saw them reflected in the mirrors. Mom's face pale, Mason's mouth open, Dad staring at the floor. Lucas whispered, "Breathe." "I am," I said, and for once, it was true. When the song ended, I placed my glass beside the envelope and said, "Love isn't control. Help isn't theft." Then I walked away, through the whispers, through the flashbulbs, into peace. Outside, under the fairy lights, I let my veil slip off into the night wind. Lucas laughed softly. "You just threw away your movie moment." "Good," I said. "I don't want one." We drove home in the same car they tried to steal. Our car. And for the first time in years, the silence didn't ache. It healed. A week later, I looked at a photo from the wedding. The moment my mother's smile cracked as I held that envelope. I used to think it looked cruel. Now I think it looked honest. Freedom doesn't shout. It whispers. Like a phone that doesn't ring anymore. Like peace that doesn't need permission. Boundaries don't destroy families. I whispered to myself. They define them.